Rabbi Yezer, since we sinned by attending a wild party in a feast of Achashverosh, where the food wasn't kosher, the entertainment wasn't kosher, so in order to fix it, now we feast kosher. So we drank wine at a wild party, non-kosher wine, non-kosher women. So in order to fix it, 23b2 in Judaism, the way you sin is the way you win. We sin through wine at a wild party, so therefore we what?
Drink wine and have
we drink wine and have a kosher party. We turn the sin into a win. Sudat mitzvah. So that's the main reason why we're supposed to sell it. But the mitzvah is only with wine. It's not with another alcoholic beverage. Because at a Hashverish wild party, if you look at the Megilla, they only served yayin, only wine. So the sin was wine.
It's against religion.
There is no mitzvah to drink
Jews are supposed to be in control.
Jewish booze. There's no mitzvah to
Hurt
drink.
somebody, it's crazy.
It's got nothing.
But the mitzvah is only wine, not J and B, not Jewish booze.
Drink a little more than go to sleep.
Right? Not J and B Jewish booze.
Drink a little bit more than go to sleep.
But anyway, here the Gemara speaks about doing a sin for God's sake. And it mentions Yael, but for some strange reason it doesn't bring up Esther. Tosas does. But why the Gemara doesn't? Let's go slow over here.
I think you want to focus on the 7 different ways she had relations.
So let's go. It begins on 23. It begins on 23, boy 1. Maybe Yaakov, you have a Gemara there.
I have it.
We hit the bonus over here that we found of all the thousands of books. We Baruch Hashem, God is on our
We had
side.
plenty of...
Just happened to have these,
Yeah,
you know.
Plenty of Megillas last
Right there. No coinky dinky.
year. We had plenty of Megillas last year too.
Right, the Megillah disappeared. Now, let's begin again. 23 boy 1 on the right side. The Gemara elaborates on the merit of performing a sin for righteous reason. This is a dangerous concept. 23b1 on the right side. The Shapside Phoenix went to town with this. Sabathians, you're familiar with their movement? They went to town with this idea. So it's very dangerous. A little bit of knowledge can be very dangerous.
In the wrong hands, right?
Right. 23b1. The Gemara elaborates on the merit of performing a transgression for righteous purposes. You see that? Amar Nachman by Yitzchak. On the right side, 23 boy 1.
Look on the right side in English.
The Gemara elaborates.
Paragraph starts off this right here. Okay.
The Gemara elaborates. With me or give me? Amar Nachman by Yitzchak. Gedoy laver lishma mitzvah shloishma. A sin committed for the sake of heaven. Lishma doesn't mean for the sake of heaven. Lishma means for her sake. Who's the her? The Shekhinah. Shekhinah is feminine. Why did they translate correctly? Gedoy laver lishma mitzvah shloishma. A sin committed, they say, for the sake of heaven.
Okay.
But lishma literally means for her sake. Who's the her? The Shekhinah is feminine.
Well,
Incredible, right?
That's heaven.
That's heaven, right?
What's related?
Not heaven. The Shekhinah is not heaven.
Why isn't
The
it?
Shekhinah created heaven. But anyway,
Right,
for her
it's
sake.
It's close enough.
Is of a greater mitzvah, a greater merit than doing a mitzvah for ulterior motive. You getting
That's
this?
pretty dangerous.
Let it sink in.
Say that again.
Again. Gidol aver lishma. Greater is a sin committed for her sake. You're doing a sin, but you're doing it for the sake of God, is greater from doing a mitzvah not for God's sake.
Not a regular mitzvah.
It's very hard to understand that. Well, the Gemara is going to try to figure it out. So Rav Nachman by Yitzchak
So just a second.
says this.
Let's stay this for a second.
Yeah.
So this means, however, that it's not
It's going to lead into Yael. You'll
Just a
see in a
second,
minute.
just
It's
a
going to lead in.
This doesn't. He doesn't say, however, then it's a transgression committed for the sake of a mitzvah lishmo.
Shema.
Right.
Right.
Am I correct? Doesn't say
Yeah.
that. All he says is that a sin committed is for to save somebody else's life is better than a mitzvah that you don't do for the sake of heaven. It
No.
doesn't say. It doesn't say that it's better. It only says
It says Gedolah. Gedolah means greater. But where's the Gemara actually starts a little bit before. On 23b1, the same page, it begins on the left side a contrast between two immoral acts. 23b1, a contrast between two immoral acts. whose widely varying outcomes were determined by the intentions which they were performed. Omar Allah, Tamar Zinta Zimri Zina. Remember Tamar, she dressed up as a harlot and she seduced Yehuda. She engaged in immoral relations. And Zimri, remember Zimri? The prince of Shevet Shimon, who had sex with a wild Moabite woman. What was her name? No, what's her name? Cosby. Not Bill Cosby. Cosby, right? So they both committed the immoral act. So let's compare, right?
Yeah.
Tamar Zinta Yotzin Imenu Malachim Neviim. Tamar engaged in immoral relations. She dressed up as a harlot and she seduced her father-in-law.
That's no woman, that's my wife.
No, that's
But
my
because her intentions were noble,
The intentions were noble.
they say the road to hell is paved with.
Good intentions.
But his intentions were not good.
Her intentions were noble. Kings and prophets came out from her. Who are the kings and prophets that came out from her?
King David.
Look at footnote 8.
Right, correct.
Tamar engaged in an incestual relationship with a father-in-law. Having relations with a daughter-in-law in Jewish law, even when the son is dead, is still called incest.
Oh.
Even though she's a widow.
And
The daughter-in-law is a widow, right? But in Jewish law, for a father-in-law to marry, you have in relations with his daughter, even after the son is dead, is still called what?
Incest.
Wow. So she engaged in such relationship with her father-in-law in Judah. And Zimri, the prince of Shimon, committed wild acts with Cosby, not Bill Cosby, the Moabite princess. So what happened to her? So footnote 9. Footnote 9. Tamar's purpose was righteous because she wanted to have a child from Yehuda. So who came out from the union? Peretz and Zorach, right? Peretz, the child born from Tamar and Yehuda, was an ancestor of King David. So from her deed, the Mashiach was born. And from Zimri, what's the difference? He had sex with this Moabite woman, right? Cosby. And what happened to him? He got a shiksabab. He got speared and 24,000 Jews died. A shiksabab, get it?
It's his favorite line.
Zimri engaged, and what happened? 24,000 Jews fell.
Okay.
Remember that? So why? So the Gemara learns from here. Since Tamar did a sin, but she did it for the sake of God, so therefore it's greater than a mitzvah done not for the sake of God.
What about the sin of Yehuda?
Of whom?
Yehuda.
Of Yehuda. What about the sin of Yehuda?
No sin. He didn't make a sin. There's no
Those
sin.
Maimonides deals with that. It wasn't a sin for him because a guy is permitted to have relations with a harlot as long as she's single, right? So anyway, Omer Rav Yehuda Marav La'olam. What do you mean? What do you mean a mitzvah?
This sin turned into a big win.
Turning a sin into a big win.
Well, she
Can
did
the
turn it
sin
bigger.
David be considered
Why?
Get bigger than
free
that.
woman?
Does it get bigger than that?
If she's not married, then she's
But
a.
you can go through Harifa.
Let's face it, the Torah wasn't giving it, right? Torah wasn't
She
giving
was
it.
everything, right? Number two, she's not.
Torah was not giving it.
I wasn't going to go with
Keep
that.
forgetting, right?
I
Torah wasn't giving it.
don't
So,
want to be, rude. Okay, I'll try it.
so the Gemara wants to know over here. A mitzvah shalol
Jewish boy
lishma
or Jewish, you can't
a
do
mitzvah
it.
shalol
He
lishma
wasn't
doesn't count
Jewish.
for nothing.
Jewish boy can only have
Huh?
relations with his wife.
Huh? We know la'olam yasik odem
He
b'torah
literally
mitzvah shalol
wasn't
lishma.
Balishma.
Shalol lishma bo
You're
lishma. What are you
Jewish,
saying?
doesn't
That a mitzvah shalol lishma means nothing? We know a
Some
person should
advantages of not being Jewish.
always study Torah
Jewish boy only have relations with his wife.
and do mitzvahs even for selfish reasons. Shematosh shalol lishma bo lishma. What are you putting down? What are you putting down a mitzvah shalol lishma?
You have to do tshuva.
A person should
You
always
have to marry the hooker.
do mitzvahs even shalol lishma because you have a haftacha that you graduate. Shematosh shalol lishma bo lishma. La'olam. from doing mitzvahs for selfish reasons, you will eventually graduate and do them for the right reasons. So what are you putting down on mitzvah shalol lishma? You know, note 11 explains it nicely.
It doesn't say there's anything wrong with the mitzvah for a Torah move. It just says that the other is better.
How could it be?
It says it's better
Look
because
at what-
you
yeah.
save somebody's life, or somebody.
You're not talking about saving somebody.
He
Like
is.
Tamar didn't save nobody's
He
life.
did a transgression committed for the sake of
Tamar didn't save nobody's life here.
Tamar didn't, but
No.
we're talking about.
We're not up to the footnote 11. If a mitzvah done for ulterior motives is even less worthwhile than a transgression committed for righteous purposes, it is evident that such a mitzvah is seriously deficient. Yet Rav states that doing mitzvahs for ulterior motives leads to fulfillment of doing mitzvahs for their own sake. So on this basis, doing mitzvahs for selfish reasons should be considered what? Great.
Both
Who says it
Great.
isn't? Who says it isn't? He just says be
You're
careful
saying that
with
an
sharing.
Aveira, you're saying that an Aveira Lishma
Right.
is even greater.
Perhaps this is greater, but it doesn't mean that it's not, that the other mitzvah is not great. It just says this is
Yeah.
greater. Like save somebody's life, I think it's more important than eating a tuna fish.
That was the situation, right? That's what separated Zimri from Tamar.
Tamar didn't save anybody's life.
All right, so that
Tamar
would
didn't save
that
anybody's
would
life.
the others didn't.
That's the.
But Tamar was what it says here that blah, 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 blah. To carry on Judah's.
You're not going to believe this, honey. Ever? We hit the jackpot. We hit the jackpot. You can even want the right meal.
I'll have
We
one
hit
of
the
those
jackpot.
anytime.
Okay.
Here, I'll give this one.
You don't have to strain your eyeballs. God helps
3B.
those who.
Helps themselves.
And what were the chances from these thousands of books?
Scattered around everywhere.
What were the chances, Rabbi? Be on the second bounce.
You're easier to pick up on
I
the
don't think
second
it's
bounce.
broken.
One of the two was broken. I'm not sure which one.
So I should change for this one?
Whatever is comfortable. It's safer.
No, I think it's all right. So anyway, Tamar didn't save anybody's life, but her intentions were noble and moral, and therefore she was zoiched that what? That the Mashiach comes from her. Right? So anyway, the Gemara wants to go over here and say, Ela eina kemitzvah shel Ishma. So the Gemara says, Rav Nachman didn't mean what you think he meant. We're on 23b1, on the right side, the paragraph begins based on this objection. You with me or against me? Based on this objection, the Gemara revises Rav Nachman's statement. Ela eina kemitzvah shel Ishma. Say instead, a sin committed for the sake of heaven is equal. It's not greater, but it's equal than a mitzvah done for selfish reasons.
That's a greater.
Both are of high value.
Note 12. That's the answer. Both
Both are of high value.
saying this is better than
Okay.
the other. It's difficult to.
Both, yeah.
But it's still important to save somebody's life.
We're not up to saving nobody's life yet. Tamar didn't save anybody's life.
Okay.
So we're not up to there yet.
Fine.
Rashi says Tamar zinta, and she had in mind l'shem mitzvah. Her intention was a mitzvah, so therefore she was zoichet that the Mashiach comes from her. Zimri zina. Zimri also did immoral sex, but he did it for the sake of what? Of sin.
I
So,
thought he had some ulterior motives too.
Who, Zimri?
Zimri. He was trying to prove something or other.
Yeah.
This, the other. There's a whole discussion. in the
Trying to
Gemara.
prove that he could still get it up. Not even though he was an old man.
No, that's a different
He was an
story.
old man. Zimri. L'schab l'shem avera.
But that was a different story. Yeah, he did it because he wanted to show that
No,
she
he
could
said,
burn.
Rashi said he did it l'shem avera. Rashi said that. So all that matters what your intention is. But they say the road to hell is paved with.
Good intentions.
I'm a little confused.
Nice girlfriend.
Hopefully we'll clear it up. Gedoyla avera l'shma. Rashi says avera l'shma k'loim l'shem mitzvah. You're doing an avera, but your intent is what? A mitzvah. K'loim l'shem mitzvah. Gedoyla avera l'shma k'loim l'shem mitzvah.
Rabbi.
1 second.
By studying the
And it's amazing that the elephant in the room is Esther. She's totally ignored. Tosfos brings up Esther, but why the Talmud? It's really like the elephant in the room, yeah?
I studied Nida
Yeah,
several years ago.
okay.
There are cases when the woman is capable to have children
Yeah.
when she's in Nida.
Say, yeah, we hear this more. It's
Okay.
talking about sex, I want to hear more.
There are cases
Yes.
in which women
Yes.
are able to procreate only in the period where they are in Nida.
That's correct. That's right.
So if one wants to have a child,
Yeah.
it's an avera, the same mitzvah.
No, that's
But,
like
but it is forbidden.
it's,
I see what
The
you're
He
saying.
rabbi,
has to
the rabbi,
divorce her.
the rabbi
it's your
will-
vayavar. To have relations with your wife when she's a nida is one of the three cardinal sins.
believes, I've also read.
So you're asking a good question. So you're asking a good question. So how does that? You're asking a bomb kasha, and yet it's
I
forbidden.
believe just a second. I believe
And yet
that
it's
the
forbidden.
rabbis will give him permission.
You're asking a
in
good
this
question.
situation. Hello?
That's a very good question you're asking.
How many days, how many days after Nida, you have to wait? 2 weeks?
7.
How many days after a nida?
I know a couple where the woman has a problem, she ovulates before that 7 days.
Ah, okay.
So by the time they're able to get together, it's too late.
Right.
By the time
That's what he's
By the
saying.
time they're able to have relations, it's too late, the egg is already gone.
Right.
she's got the sex before, she's getting pregnant 1 day before, you said.
No.
Ovulating.
No, she ovulates
Ah, okay.
before the 7-day waiting period is over.
Yes.
So she needs a heter. She needs a heter to be able to shorten that period.
So what are you saying? That what?
Yeah, if she follows the rules exactly,
Right.
she'll never get pregnant.
So
He has to divorce.
they have to get divorced.
He has to get divorced, not she.
Takes two to tango.
I read several books on the subject, and the rabbi can give a heter if she happens to have a child during this
There's
period.
no heter for chayiv chorus. There's no heter.
And it depends on when her
There's no
period
heter.
is, they're not sure. During ovulation, I read the
Read what you- Gilead Ayot. But that's you're asking a good question. They want to have a child with greater mitzvahs than that, and yet they cannot do it. And yet, so
I got it.
it's a very good question. Actually, you have to ask Rabbi Birzon that.
my text last night?
How does it fit in with this
I didn't listen
Gemara?
to it yet.
Strange Gemara here.
Did you listen?
But anyway, let's learn it through, and then we'll seek Tosfot over here.
It's a good question because
Very good
it's the
question.
same story.
The same story, yeah, and yet, can't do it. But anyway, let's move on over here. The Gemara now records the scriptural source.
Excuse me, Rabbi. It's forbidden for men, for women, or for both?
What?
To have sex during
Both.
They're both chayiv koros.
Both.
They're both chayiv koros. Nichosa nefoshois sa'oisois. Nefoshois sa'oisois. The plural. They're both chayiv koret. It's amazing that the Gemara leaves out Esther. I can't understand it. But look, the Gemara records the scriptural source. 23b1 on the right side, the last paragraph. The Gemara now records the scriptural source by Rav Nachman, which proves that it's very meritorious to do a sin for God's sake. The Chsiv, Tvorach menoshim Yael, Eshes chever akeni, minoshim boil Tvorach. There's a verse of Eliezer in Judges 5 that praises Yael. She will be blessed. Who will be blessed? Yael, the wife of Heber, she will be blessed even more than the women in the tent. Even more than the women in the tent? Look at note 13. You see that? You know, when Arafat, he fled from the battlefield upon the defeat by the hands of the Jews. He hid in the tent of a Jewish woman by the name of Yael. As he slept, she gave him an Excedrin headache, number 9. She pierced his skull with a tent peg. Ooh, what a way to go. The Gemara teaches on 23b2, the note, you see that, David? That Yael first had sexual relations with Sisera. This was a terrible sin, because it's adultery. Yet, since Yael committed it, for the noble purpose. What's the noble purpose?
Put him to sleep and kill him.
All right, to weaken Sisera, to knock him out. The verse describes her as being blessed. This proves Rav Nachman's claim that a sin committed for righteous purpose is what? Great value.
No, not with Esther.
Doesn't mention Esther. Let's go slow and see what Tosas brings it up. But let's go through the Gemara first. Rachmiel, you have it? It's right there in front of you. See, there's even an extra book. Look at that. So we're back in the Gemara. Man noshim ba'oel, the bottom of 23b1 on the right side. The right side, the last line, David. Who is the women of the tent that Yael is more blessed? Who is that? On top of B2. Who is that? Sarah Rivka. Yael, the adulterous lady, is more blessed than whom? Hello? Than the mothers of Israel. Come on. But that's what it says. What's going on over here? Now, yes, I'm all mixed up.
What do you say this is more blessed? It says she'll be blessed with the same
Read the
blessing.
text.
Which says the
Mi
same
noshim.
Says
Mi
she'll be blessed.
noshim shaba'oel. Mi noshim means more. You know Hebrew. Tivorach mi noshim yael. Eshes chavekeni. David knows Hebrew better than me. Mi noshim ba'ohel. Tivorach. She's more blessed than the women of the tent.
How come they translate it as the same blessing? They translate the same blessing.
Mi noshim. But in
Don't-
Hebrew,
don't
mi
say-
means more, no? Oh, David, doesn't mi noshim ba'ohel tivorach?
Menashe, you mean when you added the M? Yeah.
Mi more even.
Yeah.
Why don't they translate? Maybe they're afraid to. I don't know. I don't want to upset some people. Maybe they're fudging it. I don't know. Me noshim, ask any Ulpan 101 teacher.
What do you mean?
More
What do you mean?
Tevorach min noshim yael. Eshes chaver akeni. Mi noshim. She's blessed. Mi noshim more even than the women of the tent. Ma'el tevorach. Man noshim sheba'oyel. Who are the women of the tent? Huh? Who are the women of the tent? Sarah Rivka Rachel Leah, right? Why is she so blessed? Rashi said she did an Avera Lishma in order to tucker him out, in order to make him a head shorter.
For 7 times, she was talking.
I'm going to tell you something, Rashi. Rashi says something. Why is she more blessed than the righteous matriarchs? Take a pill and lie down, Avia. How could she be more blessed than the righteous mothers of Israel? So Rashi, fasten your seatbelts. Look at Rashi. Look at page 46. See my finger? Page 46. Page 46. 46. Rashi says, why is she more blessed? Rashi. Sarah Rivka. Sarah Rachel Valeya. See my finger? Sarah Rachel Valeya? You know. Why is she more blessed than Sarah Rachel Valeya? Hello? David, you see that? Look at my finger.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Sha'amru, because Sarah, Rachel, and Leah, Lebaleyan, they told their husbands, Lava Ashav Choseyan, they told their husbands, come into my maidservant. What did Sarah say to Abraham? Have sex with my maidservant, right? Mm-hmm. What did Rachel and Leah say to Father Jacob? Have sex with my maidservant's Bilhah v'Zilpah. Didn't they say that? Mm-hmm. They didn't have it in mind for a mitzvah. They were jealous, one of the other.
Oh,
Rachel bachota. Rachel was jealous from what? From her sister. The Sarah, the Leah b'imois. And Sarah was also jealous of her handmaid.
How about Rebecca?
And Leah, one second.
Rebecca wasn't
I'm
jealous
talking
of
about
her.
Leah. The Leah b'imois. V'kulam nema behen ohel. And it's all called mothers of the tent. So Rashi says, therefore, Yael's intention was strictly l'shem shemayim. But when Sarah and Rachel and Leah, when they gave their handmaidens to their hubbies, they didn't do it for a mitzvah. It was to stick it to their rival. Ooh, I would never dare say such a thing.
Well, you're not right.
But holy Rashi, he can get away. Say that. I know, Rashi says it.
If
He told us Rabbi Beers on this. Rabbi
If
Drizzy?
Abraham Berkowitz was here, I don't believe that.
Rashi HaKadosh. You must have very wide shoulders. What's your name, sir? Melech, Eli Melech.
No, just Melech. He didn't say L. He just said
No,
Melech.
there's no name. It's Eli Melech. There's no name Melech. It's Eli Melech.
His name is Melech.
Eli Melech means my God is king. Eli Melech. Look what Rashi's saying over here. But Sarah, Rachel, and Leah, when they gave the slave girls to their husbands, they didn't do it for the mitzvah, says Rashi. Say what? Speaking about Sarah, Leah. They were jealous one of the other. Rachel ba'achota. Rachel was jealous of what? Of her sister. Because she couldn't have no kids and her sister was having babies. The Sarah of Leah, the Amois. The Kulan Nema v'henoel. Wow.
Didn't we study Rashi before?
Wow.
That Rachel was not jealous. She gave everything to Leah. She gave her the simanim.
She did give it a simonim, but this is a different issue here.
Later on.
It's a different issue.
And also, Rebecca was never jealous of anybody.
We don't mention Rebecca.
Yeah, he did say matrix. You know, 'cause greater.
You're right. See, Rashi, wow, Yehuda Lev, you have to tell his wife. He's making an aura. See, Rashi leaves out Rivka. See, our text says Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah. Rashi's text didn't have Rivka, because Rivka never had no slave girl to give. So therefore, Rashi only mentions Sarah, Rachel, Leah. Rashi's text of the Gemara was different. It's amazing, Yehuda. Rivka is not in this Indian, because she had no slave girl. She had no axe to grind. Are you getting this? Wow. It's all going to lead into Purim, you'll see soon. The elephant in the room. So anyway, the Gemara goes on top of 23b2. She'd only have sex with him once. Who said once is not enough?
7.
Who said that? Once is not enough. 23b2.
James Brown.
Omar Rabbi Yochanan.
Yeah, that's it.
The left side, David. You with me or against me? I don't know. Maybe you should. Omar Rabbi Yochanan.